and of a high quality, and trying to maintain that quality has come at, with sacrifices. Maintaining that on live and on record has, I've pretty much put everything I have into this. I'm right. Basically running like a non-profit. I'm just, everything is for the music and to maintain that quality and to maintain that level of, just trying to keep it at that level and also not making any sort of different. I do different things. I could do Stereo Venus, I do collaborations, but I try and keep those separate, in terms of, like, I know people are listening, some people are listening through Spotify, or they've got me on shuffle, and they don't want to, like, suddenly have their ears, assaulted by something completely not what they're, something different, like not what they were expecting. Yep. So I'm very careful to not jolt people, with anything too sonically different,
Yep. No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. And some years later, your life changed completely. I mean, you were nominated to 2 Brit Award in January 2011. Your album, Season of My Soul, peaked the UK chart number 3. You have certified platinum in 2013, sold 1 million copies. Man, what can you tell about that period? Talking about, changing life. It was, you went from here to all the way to the top, I suppose, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it was extraordinary. It was extraordinary in many ways. I'd have been happy with it. Like one of those things, just to happen. One of those things would have been amazing. It all happened at once. And so in many ways, I couldn't really enjoy it. I didn't have the time to really stop and process any of it or enjoy any of it, because I was physically, on a practical level, I was just busy traveling. Like I was traveling, packing a suitcase, unpacking a suitcase, go from an apartment to a car to an airport to a car to a hotel to a radio station to a car to a hotel to a radio station. I mean, that's what it was like for like, a year. It was just like just promotion and travel and going to all these countries, which I really now, I think, look back and I think actually I really appreciate that I got to do that, because now that sort of international promotional thing is really only something that the very big stars do now. To physically go to the country and to do the radio and the traditional promotion. Now it's all online and digital and everything else. So I did get to meet a lot of people in different countries, and I did get to travel and do different things. And it was very hard on my health. And that's why, unfortunately, I had to pull away from the industry in late 2012, 2013, because I was just physically getting run down by the schedule, so, and there was just too much. There was just too much in the schedule, and so I just stopped and went to America, and that was the beginning of my sort of Intercolor period, where I began writing for Intercolor. I was writing for Intercolor, but I was also trying to recover. And also, I wanted to get some sunshine in January. I wanted to get away from England. I wanted to kind of give myself a chance to recover a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was the Intercolor period. Oh, you probably want to do this chronologically, huh?
That's right. Yeah. So I need to I need to stop there. So, psychological level, is it difficult to, like you mentioned, handle the pressure of one day you are like a normal 20-something-year-old living and then all of a sudden everybody was calling you, you need to get an agent. Yeah, you're making money and you're selling a record and you start beginning performing bigger venues, but it's, I don't know, I'm not famous, so it's difficult to kind of be famous. You're touring, you wake up in a city or you don't even remember the name of the hotel. You need to be ready at 2:00 and wear your makeup because somebody's driving you here, and then catch a couple nights sleep, and then talk to more stupid people like myself, and then go to bed, and then drive to go to another cities. Is it difficult? Like, one hand, you have money, you ask for it, right? You ask, here in the United States will say you ask for it, you got it, but now you got it. I mean, so how you manage that in your head?
Well, there's money, but that's all you have. It's money in a
no
vacuum.
happiness, right? So,
well, it's money. It's money in a vacuum. So you haven't got time. You haven't got any time.
yeah,
You haven't got any family around you. You haven't got you can't see your friends. You don't have a relationship.
yeah.
You don't have your health because you're ill. So it's just money on its own is nothing. It's
Right.
like you can't. There's nothing to. You can't go any. You haven't got time to go anywhere or do anything. You haven't got anyone to do it with. You're ill. I mean, honestly, it was really. I mean, what you ended up spending the money on, and what I ended up spending a lot of money on, was doctors, acupuncturists, anything that was going to make me feel better.
Yeah.
So ironically, the money went on my health. A lot of that money went on my health.
Yeah.
Large sums of money went on my health because
Wow.
I was trying to stay alive throughout that process. But no, it was a very interesting thing. And what was very interesting as well, Claudia, was like, for example, it was very triggering for me because it was almost like the experience of having your life out of your control and being dehumanized and created just like an object was very difficult for me. And also because I was 30 when I signed that record deal, I'd had a very free life. I was an independent girl, had a lot of control over my life and my time. So to have your life completely taken over by people you don't really know, you're suddenly with these people that work for somebody else and that don't really have your best interest. They're not really your friends.
Of course.
What I mean?
Yes.
So, but you haven't got time to see your actual friends. Meanwhile, because you're on billboards and you're in magazines and you're doing interviews and you're doing all this promo, everyone that I've ever known since in the whole history of my life suddenly goes, oh, I should send Sarah an email, and see how she's doing. So everyone starts to contact you and go, hi, how's it going? Wow, I saw you on blah, blah, blah. And you haven't got time to reply to any of them. And then they think that you're too big for your boots, or you haven't, or you're famous now. And it's like, you can't explain. Like, I haven't got time. Like, I wish it's only because you've seen me on the television advertising. It's gone into your head. You've been reminded of me. You think you're the only one that's texted me or called me. Like, I can't keep up with it all. So that was one element. Also, like, for example, when you do a morning TV show, you get up early, you go to the TV studio, there's the hair and makeup girl, it's good atmosphere, you get your makeup done, like, these people are paid enormous sums of money. They got the clothes, the rail of clothes, all these beautiful clothes, you put them on, you look $1 million, you've had your makeup done, your hair done, all that. You just you look like you're ready for the catwalk. Okay, you go out there, you talk to Lorraine Kelly or whatever the TV show is for like 5 minutes, and then everything's packed up, they put you in a cab and you're home at 9 o'clock in the morning, all dressed. You still there?
Yeah. I think you got frozen for a while. Go ahead.
You're just sitting there all dressed up, or in like looking like $1 million, like all dressed up, just sitting on your couch.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the sink and sobbing.
Yeah.
And taking all this makeup off and thinking, I'm so lonely.
Yeah. Where
because there's so much energy and excitement around you from all the people, and then it's gone. It's like a sort of unnatural state to be in, but what I really love is just being part of a community, a normal community, and I felt what fame did to me was estranged me from my community. Which is the saddest thing, because community is everything for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And your private life goes away. You need to, everybody could be taking pictures. So you need to go, even if you go to the grocery store, you need to wear decent clothes, or I don't know, or makeup or whatever. Oh.
That really fit. I'm not like that. Nobody was ever like that.
Yeah.
I was never like, that would be sort of a different level of fame. It wasn't like that. Really, when I was just walking around without makeup on, people really didn't really notice me that much. But really, it was just the loneliness, just the crushing loneliness of feeling busy and surrounded by people, but feeling like like the kind of loneliness that you think could kill you. Like, I'm so lonely, I think I could die of it. Like, I feel it in my bones. Like, it's in my bones. And so I really sympathize with people when they say they're lonely and they feel like loneliness. It's like, it's almost like a physical condition. It's like, I'm so lonely that it's like Siberia in my bones.
I know exactly what you mean. And it was normal for you to have you were single at the time, to have like a normal relationship with a boy or whatever, or it was difficult for
boyfriend Sam, who at the time he was but again, I never got to see him, and eventually we just drifted apart. I suppose, I just couldn't do anything or go anywhere, so that just never happened. I was vulnerable anyway. I was a vulnerable girl, because I didn't have a stable sense of, I didn't have any stability or foundations. I didn't have family around me that cared. I had no one picking me up from the airport. There was no one there to say, "Oh, you're home." There was nobody to greet me. So it was just crushingly lonely, honestly.
Yeah.
And the incredible sort of huge things like doing the White House or these enormous stressful events, and then you just go home on your own.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. For that particular album, the track called "Slow" and had been streamed 9 million times Spotify, and "Take Me As I Am," which I really like it. They're wonderful piece of music, and you were signed by Atlantic Records, so it's that's I suppose that, like you said to me about the loneliness and growing up by yourself and being on your own, nobody pick you up at the airport. In a way, that's the price you pay as you're moving up into that music business, and which is difficult. Sometimes you don't have like a good business manager. They rip you off and take the money right away. It's tough. Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole other thing. But Claudia, you asked me what fame was like.
Yeah,
it was lonely. It was very, very. But so I decided that I didn't want to be famous, and now I'm not famous really. I just do.
Well known, probably is the word correct.
Yeah. Moderately. If you like music, but it just wasn't me. I need to be part of a community. I have to have time. I have to have time for my friends. I have to have time for my family.
Yeah.
I have to have balance, and if it means that I'm not as successful and I'm not making as much money, I'm not making any money really, but it's like, there's richness, there's wealth in other things, but the commitment to the music has never waned. The music side of it, I've always been committed to making music and doing it to the best of my ability.
Absolutely.
So that's never been something I wanted to compromise on or change.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. No, I understand. In a couple, 2 years after that, you released an album called B-Sides and Rarities, Volume 1. The album contained good track like It Might Be You and I Believe in You. I really like that album, actually.
Thank you. I do too, actually. That record was a fan-led project, because people would come up to me after shows, and they bring their CDs with extra tracks or random tracks on that they make computers, and they'd found a photo of me, and they've made their little rarities CDs themselves. And I thought, I need to do this properly for people if that's what they want. Obviously people. So I've always tried to kind of listen to the fans, to see what they want. You know, at the end of the day, I want to give them things that they want. And B-sides was something that everybody really enjoyed. And so I did it again on B-sides too.
Yep.
And keep going. As long as I've got extra tracks, I'll keep making them.
Absolutely, man. And then a couple of years later, you did the album called Boys Don't Cry. And I have a lot of questions about that. You know, as if your experience, your life things from a male point of view, from a male perspective, if you will, because I think all of them are male. Why you end up picking that particular tracks, and I know that later on you end up, you know, picking several tracks from Hall & Oates, and Sarah Smile is it's a wonderful piece, very well known here in the United States. And
that time, sorry, my husband's keeping my son out of the house, but he's gonna have to bring him back in a minute.
Yep.
Boys Don't Cry. When I listen to it now, it's a certain mood. It's a very melancholy record.
Yeah.
Because I was ill at that time. Remember, I was telling you about how I got sick.
Yeah.
I was not well at all. I was on medication, and so a lot of these. There was a big breakup with my producer. It was very sad. It was very heartbreaking. I was at my lowest doing Boys Don't Cry. But when I listen to it now, I was listening to it the other day, it's a really sort of melancholy record, and it explored these themes, explored a lot of loneliness, in A Man Needs a Maid. I really understood what he was saying, in that I haven't got the energy or the strength to be in a relationship, but I need help, practical help. I really understood that really profoundly. I understood a lot of the things, and it was a coincidence in many ways that it was a male perspective, but actually I found myself very much in a man's world, because there aren't that many females in music, really, as much as there should be, and there certainly aren't any female executives or anything like that. So I found myself surrounded by a lot of male energy. The idea was to just do, songs written by men, purely because I was curious, and I've always been curious about going beyond gender and singing from the perspective of other genders, because I'm interested in storytelling, and being a narrator of any story, regardless of gender. So I wanted to see if I could embody songs that told men's stories from a male point of view.
Yeah,
but different types of different types of emotions, not just love. Like on Boys Don't Cry, there's a lot of themes, not just love. It's a lot of different themes, a lot of different colors of the rainbow. I really like Boys Don't Cry. Sometimes I think, God, I was so ill during that time, and I could have done that so much better. But then I think, well, it's kind of a moment. And when you're listening to the whole catalogue, it's a mood, if you're in a melancholy mood, it's got a vibe to it that, if you're in the mood for Boys Don't Cry, if you're really in the mood for it, it can be a nice record to listen to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that album. It's very good. And it's, all your stuff is very good. I keep on telling you, you're very good.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. I think if looking at the lyrics point of view, forget about the music, right? Or whether that person wrote it or you wrote it or whatever. You have a lot to say in your lyrics, and at the same time, seems to be you are like a very private person. People get to know you through your lyrics, might be correct or incorrect, right? You and I listen to a song, I may have a different interpretation about the interpretation you may have or your husband may have, but it's easy for you to open up. And can people get to know you via the lyrics, if you will? Or?
Yeah, of course. But I'm also very immediate. I'm happy to talk. Yeah. And I'm happy to talk to anyone, about anything. So I really, really genuinely really like people. And I really love talking to people, and I've actually got a lot of love for humanity, and just, you know, one of the things I really enjoy is after the show just meeting everybody and thanking them for coming. And, you know, if I could sit and talk to everybody for 20 minutes, I would, you know, if I had the time, or if any people didn't have trains to catch, I would love to sit and talk to everybody and connect, because we have a lot in common. You know, there's a lot we can share. Yeah. And so I've forgotten the question. I've just sort of drifted off there. Oh yeah, no, I'm happy to be open. I'm happy to be open. You know, there really isn't a subject I'm not comfortable, and I'm pretty comfortable talking about anything, really.
Yeah. I mean, from the fans nowadays, as a way to make a little bit of money, most of the artists create T-shirts and an album, and they sell the CDs or the vinyl after the show, and you can make, you know, a little bit of money, and then to pay for your expensive. And at the same time, since I'm a consumer, your product is good to, you can sign a CD or vinyl, take a picture with the artist. It's great. It's another business model, if you will. Nowadays, very difficult for bands to make money via selling CDs or vinyl. So many bands create records so they can go on tour and then sell CDs for X number of dollars, T-shirt, or whatever they do, and that's what they make money from.
I don't charge for meet and greets. I don't believe in charging for meet and greets. I mean, I'm on this woman to woman tour. Correct. Where they have meet and greets, but that's their organization. But when I do, I don't do it, because I just like meeting everybody, anyone who wants to come. So I find it difficult. It's probably why I don't make much money, because I don't really think in those terms. I'm trying to think about, I need to, you know, I try and think about what people want. And generally with the people that come to my concerts, they generally just want music. They generally want why I made B-sides. B-sides was actually a merchandise item. You know, I effectively, initially I just printed copies for merch. So, you know, instead of a t-shirt or a mug, it was, here's this B-sides record that, you know, you may not have. And then Warner decided to put it out, and then I decided just to release them. But yeah, people generally just want music, more music, or just tracks they haven't got, you know. But yeah, I love meeting people.
Good for you, man. In 2015, you end up releasing a 4-track EP called, I think, "Love Is the Answer," which I really liked as well. Whether I look too much into things, and I look at the title of the albums and the song and the name of the song, and, you know, whether you psychologically, were you in a better place at the time, or you were still struggling, or
No, I was living in Arkansas. And I was quite content at that point. I felt safe and content. And, you know, I'd done Daryl's House, Live from Daryl's House, which is a show where go to Daryl's house. It's an amazing experience. And everyone was saying, where can we get those tracks from Daryl's house? Well, we tried to, sorry about this. We tried to license them, but we couldn't. So I thought, well, everyone's asking for these tracks. Let's try and record them, a couple of them. So we recorded a couple. That's where the "Love Is the Answer" EP came from. Was just trying to try and give people what they wanted, which was the Daryl Hall stuff, which we couldn't do. Maybe we'll keep trying. You know, I'll keep trying to see if I can license it. But you know, so we try to recreate it, and even got Paul Pesco, who's Daryl's guitar player, on that EP to try and get it, you know, so people could get that feeling. Yeah,
it's a very good album. I really like. And then some year later, you released a new album, Into Color, in November 15 in the UK. I think in UK, Ireland, and Japan peaked to number 12 in the UK, and then was released by Atlantic Record. And the first single there, Dangerous, it's different. It was up tempo number, if you will, a little bit of disco, it was available all over the world, I think, at the time, right? So every radio station was playing the track. So
I'm so glad. I can't remember much about it at the time. when we first wrote that line, is your love too dangerous? I thought and you can hear me on the voice memo on my recording device. I say, that sounds disco to me.
Yeah.
And so whenever I always tend to produce a track the way that the song is going, and that was just where it was going. And so I just went with it. I went with the song where the song was leading me.
Yeah. It's a very good album. I'm quite sure you did very well. And it plays for, I keep track of, I have like a website where I go to see how popular a particular track was in different countries. It's very good. And the album gained very good reviews. I think it was the foundation for you for the 2015 tour day, right? You were traveling at the time, you were touring and bigger venues, bigger places. And
yeah, I did a good tour in 2015 or 14, I can't remember. And then
2015, yeah.
A US tour.
Yeah.
And then, I'm gonna get, hi Denny. Can you say hello to Claudio?
Hello, can I stay with you?
Yeah, can you say hello?
Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
Mommy, he's going to do some work with you, Mommy.
Yeah, we're gonna put all those clothes away.
Yes.
Can you put them in
Mommy,
piles?
look what I found. My best book.
Oh wow!
What book is that?
I'm looking for the blue book and I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for the blue line and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, we'll find it. I'm wondering, we've got more to cover here, haven't we, Claudio?
Yeah, we do.
Whether we should, I don't know what time zone you're on, but I could do maybe 9 o'clock.
I am EST, so I think you are 5 hours ahead. Yeah, I can ping you.
Mommy.
Hold on. Let me look at.
It's yours.
Thank you.
Your ribbon.
Let's do the following, Sarah. I have an interview at 2 and at 3, but then I will send you an email and send you some tentative time. You prefer to do it like a late night for you, around 9, 10 p.m.? Are you awake or?
I'm on tour tomorrow for 3. I'm hitting the road tomorrow, and I'm going to be gone solid till. I mean, I could do the hotel on Friday. I could do Friday, but then soundcheck. Put that in the bin. Actually, soundcheck hits around the time that you wake up.
Yeah. No. Well, let's try to do this afternoon, if you will. I will give you some tentative time. We'll send you an email, then we'll take it from there.
Okay, Denny, can you speak Spanish? ¿Hablas español? Can you say, ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
Your Portuguese is a bit better, actually. Say bom dia.
Bom dia. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Yeah, you need to put the kid in Spanish school or a Spanish lesson or something. It's very important to learn more languages. So,
Claudio, I am in desperate need of a translator for that section.
No, I will help you. Don't worry. I'm a man of my work.
Oh, amazing! Thank you so much. No, all right, well, I'll speak to you later, and I look forward to getting an email from you. Okay, cheerio.
Bye.